If you played OMORI, then you probably noticed that Basil is one of the most misunderstood characters in the entire game. And before continuing this video, I just want to warn you that there will be heavy spoilers. A lot of people only look at Basil as the boy who helped hide the truth, the boy who suggested making it look like Mari took her own life. And yes, what happened was terrible, there's no denying that. But what makes OMORI so impactful is the fact that its characters are not simple. They are emotionally broken, confused human, and Basil might be one of the characters that represents this the most. Because when the accident happened, Basil didn't react like a rational person. He reacted like a terrified child watching the person he loved the most completely fall apart in front of him. And I think a lot of people forget that they were just kids trying to deal with an absurd and traumatic situation. Even after everything, for 4 entire years, Basil never told the truth. And I don't think that only happened because he was involved or because he was afraid of the consequences. I think his greatest fear was losing Sunny. And when you replay the game while thinking about that, a lot of things start to make sense. Basil's entire emotional world practically revolves around Sunny. His happiness, his emotional stability, his fears, his anxiety, everything seems connected to his fear of abandonment, and this becomes even more painful when Basil discovers that Sunny is leaving. At that point, Basil was already mentally fragile. And alongside everything happening with his grandmother, he slowly starts getting worse and worse emotionally. His desperation keeps growing throughout the entire game. And honestly, some endings completely destroyed me emotionally, especially the endings where Basil takes his own life. I genuinely cried while watching those endings. Because regardless of his mistakes, it's impossible for me to look at Basil and not see psychological suffering. Basil clearly needed help, and this is where I think the discussion becomes really important. In my opinion, Basil shows many traits associated with borderline personality disorder, especially emotional dependency, extreme fear of abandonment, self-destructive behavior, emotional instability, and chronic feelings of emptiness and guilt. And I think one of the most painful things for people who experience something similar is the intensity of loss. Because losing someone hurts for everybody. Everyone is afraid of losing someone important. But some people experience that pain in such an intense way that it feels like the end of the world, like their entire identity depends on that person staying in their life. And emotional dependency is not just loving someone a lot, it can become something deeply destructive. Your thoughts begin revolving around that person, your mood depends on them, your self-esteem depends on them, your fears become stronger and stronger, and every sign of distance or rejection starts feeling terrifying. And I believe Basil represents that pain extremely well. But at the same time, I also think it's important to talk about this responsibly. Basil is a fictional character, so obviously we cannot truly diagnose him like he was a real person. A serious psychological diagnosis requires clinical evaluation, context, time, responsibility, and professional analysis. There are also many discussions within psychology about personality disorders in adolescents. But according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, this type of diagnosis requires a lot of caution before adulthood, precisely because personality and the prefrontal cortex are still developing. And honestly, this is something I personally think about a lot. How can someone receive a personality disorder diagnosis when their personality itself has not fully developed yet? That's why I think it's important to question and even seek a second opinion when such a serious diagnosis is given very early in life, because we are talking about labels that can deeply affect the way someone sees themselves. But regardless of that discussion, I still believe Basil shows many traits related to this disorder, and maybe that's exactly why so many people connect with him emotionally, because unfortunately there are many people living with an intense fear of abandonment, people who take responsibility for things that were never their fault, people who blame themselves for everything, people who struggle to say no, people who feel like they constantly need to save others just to avoid being left behind. And if you relate to Basil in that way, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Emotional dependency is not something easy to live with. It is not weakness, and it is not just being dramatic. It can completely consume the way someone thinks and feels. But at the same time, it is not impossible to change. It is possible to heal. It is possible to build healthier relationships. It is possible to learn how to value yourself without depending entirely on someone else's validation. And it is possible to set boundaries without feeling guilty for it. And maybe that's exactly why Basil hurts so many people emotionally, because behind all of his mistakes, there's still someone desperately trying trying not to lose the person he loves most. And if you watch this video until the end, leave a like and comment Kel. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to the channel members for their support and also to you for watching until the end.